I think it
They told me simple things.
He's like, dude, I didn't ask for one. Dang, brown nose. Well, you're not always with me, right?
Shoot, I wouldn't even know if he was at work or not. He goes straight to Auburn, or no, Darrell. Used to go to Auburn.
We can start now.
Well, I don't even have any glasses. I bought another truck, and I had to put a pair of glasses in it. Reading glasses.
I might have some for you,
There you
Cal.
go.
If you need them,
I could be a little offensive sitting buying girl glasses you wearing anyway.
oh, they are. Just $1.
Okay, gotta start now.
Glasses, but I got a
I
better
just
vehicle. I
plain
bought
said, I
another
saw Casey
vehicle.
out there working.
Well, thank you. Now, if you need to shoot off, oh, okay.
She's at work.
Thanks.
You gotta start now. I want to ask, I think.
All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to Logan County Fiscal Court this morning. Before we start business, we always have a word of prayer, and we need to remember the people in our community that's hurting. We need to remember the decisions we make this morning in fiscal court. And with that being said, Tyler, would you like to run prayer this morning?
Dear Lord Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. And, thank you for the many blessings that you give us, Lord. Be with those that are sick and those that have lost loved ones. And Lord, be with those that are overseas and in Ukraine still, Lord. They're still suffering a great deal. Lord, we thank you for the rain that we recently got. We know everybody was surely needing that, and thank you for that. And be with us today as we make decisions for the county, and it be how you see fit, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay, let's call the meeting to order with the pledge of the American flag. Scott, you like this?
Yes, sir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, I'd like to welcome everybody to Logan County Fiscal Court. I know we've got a couple of groups here that wants to address the court a little bit later, but we do have, I do need to amend the agenda to remove the follow-up request from the Logan County Airport. They wanted to extend that for 2 more weeks before they came up here for the next meeting.
Move to approve.
Okay, got a motion, second. Any question? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Kyle.
Yes.
Kyle,
Oh, yeah.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, the first item of business then today is
I'm ringing in my head.
approval of the minutes from the last court meeting of July the 12th, 2022.
Move to approve as presented.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the last meeting. Any questions? Okay, not hearing any, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, the first, I guess we got Tammy here this morning, Tammy Goslow, and she will address the court at this time through Logan County Economic Alliance for Development.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We are requesting a letter of support this morning for a new project that is coming to the county. I'll read the letter to you. It's to the Kentucky Cabinet for Economic Development, Secretary Jeff Noel. The Logan Fiscal Court is fully supportive of the potential new industrial project by Project South 90 in Logan County. and the new jobs that will be created. We are appreciative of this well-established, family-owned company considering Logan County for their new location. We request the state approve Project South 90 for Kia incentives related to this new industrial project. Thank you for your consideration and support for growth in Logan County. And this would be signed by the Fiscal Court. It is a light industrial project that will employ about 20 people in the county. They were a little too far along to apply for KBI, so this is Kia only, which means that there will be no tax incentives given as far as occupational tax being given up. So it's a family-owned business headquartered in Michigan, so we're excited to welcome them.
Okay, I just need permission to sign that letter, which I've already done it, but the court needs to approve that letter of support.
I'll make a motion to approve that letter of support and allow the judge to sign it.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Is there any question? Okay, if not, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Okay, next, we got Chamber of Commerce here with a request, Polly Steinberger, and she brought the whole crew with her this morning, the chairman and the vice chairman, or the president and vice president.
I have my posse. How are y'all this morning? Good. So you all should have a letter in front of you for the Tobacco and Heritage Festival. As you all know, last year you sponsored the festival in the amount of $7,645, which was greatly appreciated and used to make the festival safe and accommodating during COVID, as well as providing those free events for our community during the festival. This year, we have incurred more expenses, the biggest one being with the stage. So as you are aware, for many years we have used the trailer with all the cones around the stage on the square, and that stage is just not safe or usable anymore. So we will have to rent a stage this year. We have been renting a stage for the concerts at Carico, and that has gone really well, the sound equipment and the staging and lighting. So the very last page you see there is a quote we have received for that. I just wanted to make the court aware of what funds will be being used for. And then there's also a breakdown of every individual free event and what that looks like.
Who owns the stage that's in poor condition now?
The Chamber of Commerce. Okay. We do own that stage. It was rebuilt in 2018, which was wonderful, and it served its purpose well during that time. But just for the dimensions of the stage, there's no way we can get that structure to be what we need it to be.
Is there any plan in the future to maybe have our own?
We have discussed that. We've looked at purchasing the stage as well. That's obviously not in the budget. We're looking at $70,000 there for the stage if we purchased a stage. So we have been having many discussions at what that looks like and how we could come up with a stage, but that's not possible for this year's festival.
When y'all go to get more interested in a stage, I think you should talk to the county and the city about.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. That's definitely something that we have talked about and discussed. One hurdle that I think we will have with purchasing a stage is the location that we would store the stage and who would be in charge of managing the stage and setup and removal and keeping up with all the parts of the stage. But that is absolutely something that we are interested in the future.
So what's in our budget?
6,500.
60,000.
We, last year, been, I guess, a new kickoff after missing a year or two. We did give them a little bit extra last year, but not getting any requests, and I think, I went ahead and put it $6,500 in the budget, and of course, the court this year is dealing with 65-35 rule, that we can't spend you know, we gotta leave at least 35% of the budget intact. And hopefully we'll leave more than that. So that's what's in the budget.
I mean, honestly, stage, sound, rigging, lights, text for $59.90 is not that bad, really. I mean, if you had to buy your own and get your own sound system and all that.
If any of you all attended any of the concerts at Carico, it's the same stage that we've used for the concerts at Carico.
That's a really nice day.
And then the sound technician is to have one soundboard so that everything doesn't have to keep coming off the stage and coming back on, so we don't lose crowd like we have in the past. It's all right there and everybody can plug into it.
I think that's a deal. If I buy one, I just keep renting it.
Yeah, it's $70,000, yeah.
And I'll interject and say, we thank you for your ongoing support of the festival. We're excited to have the opportunity to hopefully have another big festival post-COVID again, or dealing with COVID. And obviously the price of everything's continuing to increase as far as pulling off the event. That's our bigger add-on expense that we feel like is very necessary to have a quality festival. And that big thing Amy referred to as far as the sound system on the stage, having that put on and off has been a major deterrent. And so we think this is a big way to improve the activities of the day. And we, again, appreciate any support to be able to upgrade that and make this event go off again as our county is accustomed to.
Well, it's our big draw to the county, it happens once a year, and a lot of people come to it, so y'all put a lot of work in it, we want to support you, so, absolutely.
Holly was just telling me, pre-COVID, we were about 25,000 people attending on Festival Day, on that Saturday.
And last year we estimated about 20,000. It wasn't as big, but it was still a very large festival for Russellville.
Hey, what's y'all's pleasure? Let's go.
Yeah, I'm ready. The budget is 6,500, so.
Okay. The 6,500?
Yeah.
What's the budget? Okay. I mean, do we have to make a motion to?
Yeah, we need to make a motion to go ahead and award this and allow the payments to be made.
Rent stages. Yes. Well, I think we gave more last year because
COVID.
of COVID. They didn't draw the money one year or something. I can't.
Carry over or something. Okay.
I'll put that in the form of a motion to do the 6,500 in the budget to the chamber for the festival.
Second.
Okay, second, who, Barry? Oh, Tyler.
We need to look at, like I said, next budget. We may or may not be here, but it may need to be recommended.
The next quarter. Jackson will be here.
Yeah, I would say.
What's the time frame?
Budget time.
May?
To come
Okay.
and make that request, and that helps us to remember, hey, we need to do a little more this time.
I mean, I don't know if y'all have this together then, but you kind of got an idea of what it's going to be.
We do, yes. And next year, we will, the big expense being the stage this year, obviously we'll continue on with that next year unless we can acquire a stage. So if you have any ideas about that, let us know. But we will.
1st of June would be
Okay.
a good time, so we can make those adjustments.
Got
Okay,
it.
we had a motion second, go ahead and contribute $6,500 to the tobacco festival, the amount in the budget. So, any other discussion? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
Thank y'all for.
Thank you
Thank you.
very
Thank
much.
you all.
I appreciate it.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
All the hard work.
Okay, now y'all are more than welcome to stay, but you can come and go however you want to do, okay? Okay, next item of business is the bill list. And if you noticed, we had a payout from JKS on a project on the outside of the building, approving $125,550 that's on this bill list. And I think I've got a copy of this. If you don't, I'd be glad to pass it around.
I saw, see it here on the thing. Make a motion to approve the vendor bill list as presented. Wasn't a supplemental, was it? Total of $239,447.90.
Second.
Well, response right there.
Robert Earl got it.
Okay, we got a motion, a second to pay the bill. Question. Okay, not hearing any. Let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, treasurer's report. We've got a budget transfer that we need to approve, totaling $613.83.
Move to approve the budget transfers as presented for 613.83.
Second.
Okay, got a motion second on the budget transfers. Any questions? Okay, if not, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, as far as cash transfers, we got 3 today. We need to transfer $75,000 from the occupational net profits to the tax fund to the jail fund.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second on that cash transfers. Are any questions? Okay, if not, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, the next item is transfer $10,000 from the occupational net profit tax fund to the LGEA fund.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second on that cash transfers. Any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, next one is transfer $40,000 from the occupational net profit tax fund to the 911 fund.
I made.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Is there any questions? Okay, not hearing any, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Road worker request, Tyler.
District 1, I had a call about out there on Thompson Chapel Road off 431. As soon as you come in, there's maybe some bushes there. They're blocking the view. Maybe we can cut them back a little bit. I don't know. Right there next to the road. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about or not, but. Is it? Okay. Well, we might need to talk to maybe we can go talk to the homeowner or whatever, but.
Yeah, it's on the way as you turn in. Blue.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Continue maintenance. I appreciate it.
All right, District 3, just continue maintenance. Appreciate all y'all's hard work.
District 4, same thing, continue maintenance.
District 5, same thing. You know, Kelly, I was going over that last night. Well, what you done. I didn't see, have y'all ever been on River Road, what we talked about from the cemetery? We done. Okay. All right. Appreciate everything you're doing. Everything's good. Thanks.
District 6, continue maintenance. Thank you for everything. Appreciate the mowing. Looks good.
Okay, y'all heard the road work request. Is there any questions? Do we have a motion to approve?
Oh, the mower, or is it still coming in August maybe?
August 15th is supposed to leave town.
Okay,
So he said it probably here to 60.
okay. I've got a list and you probably do too. People
Thought
want,
it was gonna be sooner, but they had a little chip that said it came in.
okay,
So they're planning to
all right, thank you.
Okay, we have a motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion, we approve the road work request as presented. Well, that would turn down.
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Pitt,
Yes. Okay, elected officials, Mary. I will report that JKS had a couple of their people down measuring inside that building last week. And getting ready for, I guess, doing architectural work. Okay, Scotty?
Good morning, Court.
Good morning.
I do have one item of business. I've got a personnel action request. Amy Candler left our office as the vehicle manager on June the 30th, and Amy Kleinert, which is in our office, also started taking on that duty. I was supposed to bring this up at the last meeting, and I forgot. That was my fault. So I'd like to get this approved, and I would like to make it retroactive back to July 1 when she started doing those duties, please.
So we're dealing with two Amy's, right?
We are.
You just may want to put, you got Amy Candler here, but you just have Amy here. You may want to put.
I've got her up at the top.
Kleiner,
I did. I put her up at the top.
but, well, you just read that, it's a
Okay.
little
Okay.
confusing.
I thought that's what we-
Amy Kleiner resigned and then Amy moved up.
Okay.
So you're talking
I thought that's what
about
I was
Amy
checking those
Kleiner.
boxes for.
You need to put.
Okay. I'll take care of that.
Kleiner's right there.
I'll take care of it.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
It sounds like she resigned and then she moved up to another position.
Okay. I just thought the names would decipher up at the top.
You see what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
see.
If I was reading that sentence and didn't know
Right,
the
I see.
subject matter,
Right.
you and I know the subject matter, but if another court reads that.
But I'll take care of it.
I'm married to a minister. Yeah, oh yeah, it really is, wouldn't it? Just pencil it in there, Jason, get it right real quick. Come on, man.
ABC would be the way.
All right. There you go, Tom. Tommy.
Do you want that back?
You checked it.
Yes. It didn't say how many years experience, but I'm assuming
15. Mhm.
Okay.
I remember when we hired her.
Still gonna have a Amy over there, Lord.
Oh, there it is right
About the
there. I
first
can't
year,
read.
second year was on court.
Okay. Make a motion to approve personnel action requests for Amy Kleiner, 15 years experience, moving her to pay grade LCCO 1S2. Retroactive to July 1.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and second on the personnel request. A question? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden, Pitt,
Judge, I've just got something I'd like to read to the court, please, if y'all would entertain that, please. To all fiscal court members and Judge Executive Chick, to all fiscal court members, this will officially be my last fiscal court meeting. I wanted to write down a few words to express to each of you. To all the magistrates, I want to thank each of you for always supporting me over the years and always providing the funding for us to take care of the public the best way possible. I want to thank each of you for always looking out for our deputies in the clerk's office and throughout the county with their salaries and always making them the most precious infrastructure of the county that they are. It has been a pleasure to work with all the magistrates throughout the years, even the ones that are no longer with us. I will forever remember them for the great work they did serving their constituents. Judge Chick, I want to thank you for always being a friend first, then an official, as we have worked through different challenges during our time here together. We started these roles serving the public together January 2007, and I want you to know it has been an honor and a privilege to serve alongside you and your great knowledge and skills. The times that we have spent together just sitting and talking about challenges for the week, I will never forget. Thank you for being such a mentor and a friend. I want to thank all your great staff that have always helped me with anything I've ever needed. The road department, I want to thank each of them for always helping me in the election process, delivering and picking up the equipment, and always making sure it was done with expertise and in a timely manner. Sheriff Stratton, I want to thank you and your staff very much. It has been a pleasure working with you, learning the new things in each of our offices together to better serve the public. Jailer Gregory, I want to thank you and your staff for what you have helped me with over the years, allowing me to use your inmates to complete the work needed on election night and any other time I have needing help at this office. County Attorney Joe Ross and staff, I want to say a big thanks for all the work you have done in helping me with open records and any other legal issues that may have come up that needed legal representation. Our office also works with the PVA and Circuit Clerk's office on many things throughout the year, and I want to thank Brooke Waldrop and Mary Orange for all their help throughout the years. It has been a pleasure working with them and their staffs in our roles together. In closing, I want to congratulate Stacy Watkins as she takes on the role of Logan County Clerk August 1, 2022, and may God bless her and the office staff daily, allow them to continue serving the public of Logan County. I congratulate Phil Baker as the judge-elect and all the other officials that will come on board January 1. Logan County government has been blessed to always work together in each of our offices. We have stood out throughout the state for that accomplishment. I am hopeful that that can continue as we move into the new time with our new leaders. May God bless each of you, and may God bless Logan County into the future. It has been a pleasure to serve alongside each of you. I'd also like to add, that was for you guys. For the ones that are online, I would like to give a big thanks to all the public for allowing me to be the clerk for 16 years. They allowed me to be unopposed for 3 of the 4 terms, and I just want them to know that I greatly appreciate that. Thank you.
Scotty, I'd like to say this. I'm tickled to death with getting Stacy, but I wish we was getting her 5 months from now.
Well,
I hate to see
Thank you, Scotty.
see you go.
thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate what you've done, Scotty.
Thank you, Scotty.
Okay, Steve. Thank you, Scotty, for everything you've done.
Just got a few little announcements I'd like to let you update and let the court know. 2 things. Richmond has started a program that's through the military, and it's called M2LE. So what that is if active military people are looking to get out of the military and go into law enforcement, it's called a Skill Bridge program where they sign up and they start working towards the end of their career in military and start building their career in law enforcement. So you have to apply to be part of that program, and we've applied for that and got accepted. So now that'll be another recruiting tool, hopefully, that we'll see down the road for new hired road deputies or even potentially SROs. So another tool we're trying to use to get recruitment going. Also, I applied for a ballistic bulletproof shield through the USA Deputy Sheriff's Association. It is a free piece of equipment. It's not a grant. We applied, we got approved, and they're shipping us a $2,000 piece of equipment for free. So we'll be adding that to our equipment through the Sheriff's Office, so we're very proud of that as well. And then
What is this used for? What's a ballistic?
it's active shooter, so if you're going into an active shooter situation, they hold it up so they can enter. Basically, instead of having to wait for an extra unit to go with you, you can take that and go in first, and then as the other units arrive, then they can stack a team together and make entry. So it's a very vital tool. Unfortunately, we hopefully it will sit in the closet. That's right. But we'll have it if we need it. So we're very excited about that as well. So I have some other things to go over after we pass the second ordinance there. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, I think that's it on elected officials day. Department head, Ginger.
I have a personnel action request, and I hope it's filled out correctly. But I'm wanting to promote Amanda Jones from Communications Officer 2 to the CTO position. And it follows the scale. I hope I filled that out right. It's a little bit confusing for me now. And I want it to be effective this payday, tomorrow, or yesterday. Back then. Tyler to check it for me.
How many years of experience is
10, I believe. I called and got those numbers from Janice. Did I do it wrong?
No.
No.
Right there.
See, yeah,
No,
second.
but that's a new hire. I'll just.
I get confused with the new stipends.
Yeah, we're looking for one kind of over here.
Yeah,
One of them.
under existing, yeah. So then that does match what you need. Go ahead and look at it.
had a little trouble figuring it with the new stipends, and so I called.
I thought it said 03.
Current. It says 53.
Current was, what's the current?
1710.
Well, that looked up on June, wouldn't you?
Let's change that to 03, Jason.
Existing pay 17.
Not that that matters, but it's one of the things that right on there.
Should have rolled in.
Did you see it?
You did? Make a motion to approve the personnel action request for Amanda Jones, moving her from her current pay scale to LCEC 1S3 for 10 years experience, effective July the 25th, 2022.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second to approve the personnel action request. Any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yeah. Okay, Sue Carol, you got anything? Kelly? Okay, Nathan?
Good morning.
Good morning.
So just dealing with one thing that was brought up this morning, several have asked and called in about the transfer station, and the word that I had yesterday was the hope is to have it open this week, by the end of the week. And if I get something more definite, I'll definitely put it out there, but I just wanted to let everyone know that they're working on it. They had a little bit more structural damage than they anticipated, so they're working to get it back up. In the folders for the magistrates, had a couple of things going on, so I'll do with one first for our solid waste 5-year plan. Require approval to advertise in the newspaper for a 30-day public comment period. So I've been working on this plan now for several months, and worked with Brad as well, and feel pretty good about it, and ready to put it out there for the public to take a look at, as I'm required to by the Kentucky state law. So, but I just needed approval to go ahead and do that. And I put a sample notice in y'all's folders, and it may change a little bit with some dates, just depending, working with them on getting it out there as to the exact date, but that's kind of the basis for what we're going with. So I just needed, my understanding is I need approval to do that.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, got a motion second to go ahead and allow Nathan, our solid waste coordinator, to go ahead and do the 30-day notice in the paper.
And just to make another statement, we'll have what that allows is for folks to come and review the plan. I put 5 locations out, and of course that'll be in the ad as well, but it would be 2 locations in Russellville and then in Auburn, Adairville, and Lewisburg as well. There'll be a copy of the plan placed in the city halls and here in Russellville, the library and the courthouse, so people can review if they so desire.
Only thing about Lewisburg is that the city hall's closed to walk-ins still.
I see, okay. I'll find something, I'll work with something else and we'll fix that in the ad then.
Okay, any questions?
Thanks for letting me know that.
Yeah, you might call them.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's no questions, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yeah.
Thank y'all. So the next one I have, I just want to work with y'all on this. As far as litter abatement goes, I don't need action necessarily at all today, but just some input for next time as we're working. So we have a litter abatement grant somewhere in the vicinity of $52,000 that we received from the state. And I want to be able to clean the roads and use those funds. And without elaborating a whole lot, I just want to have the ability to find a way to spend that. We have nonprofit groups, appreciate those, but it may not be enough to spend all the available funds. And so the one way that some counties do that is to hire that process out to contract, essentially different ways you do it, but up to $100 an hour you can pay to clean a certain mile of road, or you can hire an individual to do that and pay them up to a certain amount. And so I just wanted to see what the court thought, and in your folders I put what Warren County has done due to the COVID season and everything, and this is just a sample just for your thoughts. Some things I like about it pretty well and others less so. And so I talked to Lisa, and Lisa is basically the head over the litter abatement grant with the state, and she says there's about 3 ways you can do it. You can hire someone. That would not be my preference to hire like a part-time worker. I would prefer to do something a little different, but that is an option. You can set rates like Warren County does, which basically what they do is they say, this is what we'll pay you, and then see if there's any takers out there. And currently they have 2 that have taken this proposal that you've seen. And they work with, a lot of times, landscaping companies and others are interested since they have a workforce and a possibility to, have ways of doing that better than other folks. And then also we can put it out for bids. And Lisa told me it has to be a very specific bid. But I just wanted to kind of throw that out and see if y'all had any thoughts.
This is for the state roads?
It could be for any road in the county, theoretically. My plan would be for the nonprofit groups would be to have the kind of the mid-tier roads, but the larger roads like 79 South, 431, 68 East and West, those roads where there's more litter.
Today we use the jail staff, or we did?
Correct.
So that $52,000, did that pay a deputy jailer?
Correct.
Okay, so since we're not doing that now.
Since those inmates are unavailable, this would be a way to fill in until the time they are available. So.
Yeah, I think.
I'd put the thing out for bid. My thought is just put it out for bid first. Just pick your roads out. 96 is a dangerous road. Pick out your dangerous roads and your bypass and see what you get. That's my thought. What do y'all think?
Yeah.
Well, if I'm reading this, it looks like they put it out for bid, but they put it out for bid at a set rate that they're paying, right? So am I reading this correct? Like they're paying $150 per mile.
Yeah.
Both sides of the rate.
Right.
$50 per spot, $10 per bag direct pickup, and that's what they've put out for bid. And see if anybody will say, yeah, hey, I'll clean up 10 miles.
That's how they do it. And you can also, you can do it also, of course, like what you said, put it out for bids. But of course, again, just as a reminder, it can't be, according to Lisa, it can't be really over $100 a mile, or the county has to fork over the rest of it. So
you're saying this Warren County?
They're forking over some money. They're forking over some money.
Who says that? I mean, is that like, who set the $100 a mile?
It's a regulation.
Grant.
Grant. It's a grant. So we can do whatever we want, but just the $100 a mile is all the state will cover.
That's what the grant will cover, $100 a mile.
Fuel, van, and all that stuff. Do we first do that?
So if you do it a certain, what you have to do is have a FEMA rate. They have rates that are set, and so they'll pay you basically for the van, like for what the detention center does, the van at the jail, and they have a rate that you can pay and charge for that. And of course we can. That's one way you can do it, or you could also just furnish them bags, furnish some gloves, and just have them do it for $100 a mile.
I'm not sure like get around Walmart cleaned up. That's a mess. Even if the county had that kick in a little bit.
Yeah.
That's a disaster.
$52,000 though, that'll go a long way.
But they put $100 a mile, so we
520 miles.
So if we do this, adopt this procedure right here, I mean, Are you proposing these rates that are?
No, I'm not. The only reason I put that in there is just a sample, is to show you what Warren County. Judge Chick and I discussed this just to give you a sample of.
But what rates are you proposing? So we can-
I'm not necessarily proposing, y'all have to chip in, just maybe see if somebody, if we have any takers at $100 a mile.
Anybody out there willing to throw a bid out there, really?
Yeah, and if y'all want to do a bid, that's fine too. I'll have to get a pretty big bid packet together, but we'll get something together for it if y'all want to do it that way.
Or
That would be,
I mean,
if you go put it out for bid by the mile or by the bag and just see what makes sense. The $50.
And I'll have to work with county attorney. They advised me to definitely to work with county attorney on this, and I
we
will.
need to work with them before we make a decision.
Then there'd be a limit on it if we put it out, to not to exceed so many miles.
Yeah, we don't want to, they could probably
I just
spend the
personally think it's
stratosphere.
Too much time and effort to put it out for bids, and this is a decent proposal right here, the work's already been done for you. Just discuss the dollar amount, change it, and put that out for bid, because, you know what I'm saying?
I guess
You're
it-
gonna get a range of bids, if any at all, this way somebody can look and say, hey, I can go out there and clean up a mile, get paid $150, and if it's over 10 bags, I get another $10 per bag, seems pretty simple to me. I mean,
Do you have to, will you have to inspect all the areas before they get paid? Like,
I'm going to definitely check them over for sure.
because we don't have to do that. You don't have to do that today, because they take care of it.
Correct. So we'll be a little bit more, but I think it's, it's worth it to spend.
So I guess the question is how much does the county want to pay?
I think the rates that Warren County's paying are reasonable.
So we'll have to pay
Rates.
50 extra, the county will have to pay $50?
Right.
And do we have
It
that?
may be more than that. If they pick up a road, pick up that 1 mile at Walmart, they're gonna have 10 bags in that one corner. They ain't gonna go 100 feet and have 10 bags.
So what do we have in our budget to spend? I mean, if they pick up 100 miles, then that's,
Amanda could probably shuffle some stuff around, but yeah, I don't know if it'll be a whole lot.
What I see is most of the time a mowing crew is the one that does the contracting out for that. Whoever mows the right of way will have their pickup crew. Sort of runs hand in hand. That's what I notice on the highways a lot.
So Warren County does it.
That's why one county does it too.
Pretty sure
I
that's what
think
they've
that would
done.
be probably the most economical way to do it, because they're already there doing the work, and but you gotta get them to agree to it, so, and see what their price is.
And like I said,
Joe, what
nothing,
do you think? Which issue? How to do it?
I'm kind of in agreement with Thomas not to reinvent the wheel. I just think we need to figure out how much money,
We won't spend.
I mean, would anybody do it for 100? That would be my first thought, is to worry about how much you all have in your reserves. But personally, just for who I deal with in court, I can think of a whole lot of people that would seem to have incentive to earn $100 so they get paid towards court costs or other things.
But some of this in here was their equipment, they had to have lights and,
It's restricted to certain types of professions.
well, it looks like here.
yeah, you definitely want them insured and all that, and
So 150 would technically probably be from us then. So how do you put the restraints on it in case they go over, I guess would be the next question.
Well,
yeah.
we need to find out too, if the county puts any money into it at all currently outside of the grant in the jail's budget, because the jail's doing it today.
Well, we hadn't put anything in out of the jail budget. This is in a different budget.
But the county doesn't have it, we don't have any county money we use towards that at all?
Just the deputy jailer that's going out with them, the van, fuel,
It's gotta be
those.
more than $52,000.
I don't know how much of
The litter deputy, or anybody, it doesn't have to be a litter deputy, they're reimbursed for the time by the grant, by the time they're actually picking up litter. It can't just be their whole salary, so. Yeah.
I just wanna make sure that we don't have that money in the budget over there to help support it when we're not doing it anymore. We can put that towards this too, is what all I'm saying.
he could look and see what he spent last year on there, and, that would be about.
About what we were spending.
Right, if we were able to take 15,000
Yeah.
and pay out of litter abatement towards the deputy salary, then it should be 15,000 there again this year.
I just appreciate y'all's input and thoughts on it, and if you want, I'll work on something kind of based off this and see what it, with the county attorney and see what we can come up with.
I have no problem with these prices that are in here.
Okay.
You know, it's not like they're gonna clean 500 miles of, over major, not a minor, probably $5,000 out of our budget somewhere, and just, we're gonna control how much and when.
Yeah, we'll set a limit on
It's
them.
not like, say,
Yeah.
okay, there's Logan County, go start picking it
Yeah.
up, and they submit a bill and say, hey, I cleaned up, 500 miles, and you're controlling what they clean up and when they clean up, and you can work that through our budget, and I just say do this.
Well, we need to work on it. There's a proposal that come back at the next quarter meeting.
Yeah, we'll definitely work and come back to it, but appreciate it, appreciate y'all's help.
Hey, Judge, I did notice that there was a budget transfer on here. Do we have to vote on that?
We voted on that.
We did vote on that? Yeah.
600.
Yeah, where's that at?
You voted yes, apparently you like it.
I love it.
I think on second,
I love it.
made the motion on that.
Might have voted for Thomas.
Okay.
Is that decal?
Stacy, do you have anything you want to talk forward about? Okay.
So that's in,
Okay, we'll move on then to judges' announcements. Judges' announcements for today, August the 4th through the 7th. Russell, August 8th, Emancipation Celebration with a parade on August the 6th. There's also, I put a form in each one of his folder, entry application. If y'all decide y'all want to ride in the parade, you need to fill that out, and it should have an email address on there where you send it back to. On July the 30th, Blackleaf Creek Honey Festival from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. located at 1039 Quarry Road in Auburn. There is in each one of your folder a copy of the adopted road criteria for Logan County roads for accepting roads. And today at 3:45, the governor will be here with 3 announcements that he's going to make. And if any of you want to come to that, it would be greatly appreciated. He's going to give out 3 different awards today at 3:45 this afternoon. So here. So I'm sure he'd be glad to see all of you. Okay, is there any other announcements I might have missed? Okay, citizen participation. If there's anybody in the court today that would like to address the court, we ask that you come forward. You state your name and some vicinity of the county you live in, and we ask that you do so at this time. And David, I think you're the only one in here.
just some words of wisdom.
Well, good to have you here. Okay, we'll move on to new business. First item of new business this morning is a contract and agreement for animal control officer and services for 2022 and 23 fiscal year.
The board has
Jason, y'all met, I guess.
Yeah, the board's reviewed it, and there was no suggested changes or anything, and we've approved it.
Is this position currently filled?
Yes. Well, yes. The animal control officer.
Oh.
Well, I mean, we have a animal control officer, yes.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I'm still looking at it up here.
It's the same as the past 4 years, I reckon.
The only comment I'll make is about the adoptions and availability at the shelter. I know that the staff do all they can with what they got. I know they're maybe shorthanded at times, but I have gotten a few calls about the process of adoption and the time that it takes if someone wants an animal to get the animal, and maybe someone not answering the phone or the applications being responded to. At times, like I said, I know they're out busy and doing what they can, best of what they got, but I mean, our number one goal, is to take care of the animals. Number two is to get them out. It's a win-win for Humane Society, it's a win for the county. The quicker that someone wants to adopt and get them animals out, the better for everybody, including the animal. So, like I said, I did have, it's been recent in the past couple months to where maybe some response time was lacking on the office, not answering the phone and not responding to adoption applications. So, but I mean, I'm sure there's some staffing issues. I don't know. I haven't talked to Ray or you about it. Sorry before now, but I just think we need to make sure somebody is there at the building answering the phone at all times. And top priority is to process those adoptions, get those animals out.
I do agree, and we talked about that last night, the speediness of the adoption, and the adoption process needs to be priority next to cleanliness and health. We did have 68 adoptions last month, which is normally about 20. And we've got the population of the shelter is one that's ever been, but we're working through it. And we're starting to have.
I appreciate everything they do.
It's like 120 or 130.
Yeah, that's what we're like 250.
Really? And it's more than I've seen it in 4 years I've been.
You just can't go out there and adopt an animal, pay for it and leave?
No, I think you have to make an appointment now. I don't think you can just go out there.
Well, it's going to take at least 24 hours because, I mean, they got to call references, they got to do landlord checks, they got to do vet checks, and you can't do it in 15 minutes.
Right.
But you should be able to do it by the next business day.
Yeah.
No excuse.
Not a week or 2
Yeah.
weeks. Yeah. That's the only thing that I wanted to mention is I don't know if that needs to be in the contract or if you can just voice that in y'all's meeting. And not like you said, you probably already have.
Yeah. I mean, we could add a adoption turnaround time in the contract, but I don't know if every
It'd be hard to do it
instance is
every
going to be
time.
the same
Yeah.
thing. Because when you're trying to get a hold of references, and vets don't answer immediately.
Yeah.
But I mean, 24 hours seems like, except if it's a weekend, but we are open on Saturdays, closed on Wednesdays and
Yeah.
Sundays. But if anybody else has any questions or comments?
Other than that, Jason does a good job on the board. I appreciate everything he does. He does a good job.
I did have a phone call, I just talked to you after, I had a phone call today. I hadn't had a phone call about a dog or a cat in forever, but had one today. A lady's got on Lincoln Street in Russellville, and she's got 5 cats and feral cats. And she's actually called, but she said she can't get a return phone call from the Humane Society. she's 82, she doesn't have a way to get them out there. And I said, well, let me just talk to Ray. And she said, I know they're busy and overwhelmed. She wasn't really complaining, she was just needing help. You know, she can catch them. You know, she said, I can catch them all with the tomcat. But I've got pretty good sized kittens now and the mama. But she said, I've had to turn them loose. But she said, I can catch them again. And I said, well, I really don't know the procedure with cats. I know they don't come and catch them. They'll give you the trap. She said, I've got the traps, you know. And, so
This lady just needs somebody to come pick them up.
right,
Yeah, just get 'em
and bring her trap back.
Well, y'all would be surprised at the number of animal calls that we get on a daily basis. I mean, we get so many, and we get repeated calls, you know, because we send them out there, they can't find them, they call in to us, we send it out to animal control. And I mean, it's nothing for us to get 10, 12 calls a day on animals. And I mean, it's always, you know, I mean, other than we get the ones where you check on these animals because they don't have food or water, we get the strays, we get the feral cats, I mean, it's unreal the amount of animals in this county.
Spay and neuter.
That's what Bob Walker said.
Spay and neuter.
Okay, getting back to the agreement.
Right. I make a motion to approve the contract and agreement for animal control officer in service with the Logan County Humane Society as presented.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, next item of business is to approve a bond release for Logan County Clerk Scotty Harper, and that's dated July the 31st of 2022.
Reluctantly make the motion.
Second.
who said that?
Okay? Tyler, you made a motion, then.
Reluctantly.
Okay, and we got a second. Any questions? I know we're going to all hate to see Scotty leave, but this is a necessary act. Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, next item of business is to approve revenue bond for Logan County Clerk appointee Stacy Watkins.
Motion to approve.
And that takes effect beginning August the 1st of
Effective
22
August 1st.
and ending January 2nd of 2023.
All those things. Still make the motion.
The bond release on Scotty, just by the way, should not take place until August the 1st, because Scotty's still in office July 31st. That date needs to be changed
On which one?
on Scotty, because August 1st July 31st, correct me if I'm wrong, if you read that starts midnight.
July 30th, the last
So
day.
it would be one day unbonded.
So look for August 1st.
It should be August 1st, and hers should start on August 1st.
and August 1st, 12 o'clock,
Right.
start August 1st.
I noticed that.
Right. That should read, his bond release should say, first day of August. So it's gonna happen at midnight. I mean, I know it ain't nothing, but technically, Scotty wanna go in and rob the place on his last day of work, we're not insured. He ain't in here, is he?
Yeah.
Well, the auditor will look at that too, so you'll make sure it's right.
That's right, you're in office on the 31st. And we just released you on the 31st. So you weren't covered on the
We
31st.
released, it ain't no 31st, is it?
July?
Yeah.
I think that's September.
Look, a little knuckle thing, come on, put your
29th,
knuckles together.
All right. I
You
thought
think-
Saturday was the last day.
You're thinking of June.
You think about June.
You're thinking about June, I think.
Well, okay, I guess so.
Yeah.
31 days in July. and
You're right.
August.
You didn't have Helen here to ask.
I'm sorry, I should have used that before, but it did say August 1st. Unless they know something that I don't,
Somebody said that we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, we can, make that change. Okay, we did have a motion to approve the other one. And a second, and, so, is there any other discussion? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Cowell,
Yes.
Holden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, the next item of business is to approve the amended annual standing order for pre-approved certain recurring expenses for fiscal year 22-23. And basically, this is dealing with our new account, and we got information from the DOGs that this money needs to be under the standing order for the county clerk permanent storage fees, where they can go ahead and expenditure those fees that's in that new budget line item.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any questions? Right now, the clerks, a certain fee that they get down there is going into document storage that we have set an account up for. So that don't mean they don't have to follow the procurement. You know. Okay. Any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Cowell,
Yes.
Holden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, next item of business is a public road hearing for the purpose of adding 350 feet of Kennedy Chapel Lane to the Logan County road system. And that's one reason that I put the road criteria in the folder this morning. And
Some left before you get into this part of the, for open lane, on the
so on this particular road that's not having a plat, there had to be an easement established.
Okay, on the landowners to get with a surveyor to write the description and then to hire an attorney to write the deed. If they can't find anybody, I usually go pretty cheap, but those are the expenses of the landowners to get them.
So each landowner will have to have the deed rewrote.
It could be one deed, it just needs to be one legal description, and we can get the deed prepared, but that would be in my civil capacity as a private attorney, so they can go to anybody. I just typically try to do it pretty cheap to help get it done.
I'll get this.
But mainly the surveyor would be the expense.
There's three in each one. Each one of them has to take that out, but they do need that part of it. From the single road, 20 feet. Single road, yeah.
The deeper.
If we don't agree to take it off this property.
No, they won't agree.
Yeah, but when you start telling them they gotta give up property, that's
No,
when
they
they.
don't know, I'm just saying they don't know about it. It's deed.
More than that. Mom, no, it's not. It's just a surveyor's sort of expenses.
That's because it's not applied already.
So you wanna make sure they're.
You can go ahead and have the hearing and put it on, it just doesn't go on until that is met.
That's true.
So is it,
We can't actually start treating it as a county road
Right.
until we have the authority over the right of way. So that's the way to think of it.
what's the motion need to say? I make a motion to approve adding 350 foot of Kennedy Chapel Lane to the Logan County road system.
And then it'll,
And be in stone after the deed is done.
is it really good on the show?
Yeah.
Second.
Okay, does that need to be added to it?
For years, we've done it to where they've done their part, and it's just Paul. Now Kelly won't actually put it on until that paperwork is appropriately filed.
Yeah, I had a road one time, took them,
Years.
3 years to ever come up with paperwork. And finally did, and then we started doing stuff there.
When we first came in the office, we had one that went forever, that the previous court approved. Okay, we had Barry, you seconded it, didn't you?
Tyler.
Or Tyler did, I'm sorry, I just hear it coming from that side. Okay, any other questions? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, let's take a 5-minute break.
Okay. Easy now, Scott.
Watch it there.
We have
Stuff in the.
Okay, back in session, and the next item of business is to approve the second reading of an ordinance 22-230-05, an ordinance relating to certain amendments to the personnel policies and procedures, compensation plan, and classification plan adopted on January 11, 2005 to create a new position of school resource officer at the Sheriff's Department.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Question? Not hearing any, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, next item of business is to approve the second reading of an ordinance 22-230-06, an ordinance relating to certain amendments to the personnel policies and procedures, compensation plan, and classification plan adopted on January 11, 2005 to create a new position of school resource officer sergeant at the Sheriff's Department.
So moved. Second.
Okay, is there any other questions? We've got a motion and a second. Okay, not hearing any, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, next item of business is discuss the benefit package for the position of sheriff resource officers. And I just put a quick summary in there of what the county offers with full-time employment.
I mean, I guess I'm confused. Why would it be different from any other county employee?
Because they work less amount of days?
I don't know. So how many days are
195 days is what this contract is.
And how many
That we
days
just
does a
approved.
typical employee work?
260 with vacation.
But what is this? What does he do? Is he gonna be the same thing as the deputy?
just be a school resource officer? My understanding.
What's that mean?
He only works while school's in
The goal
session.
is that they need to be in the building when school's in session.
Okay,
So,
the schools don't pay them in.
Yes.
The school.
60/40, 60/40. School pays 60%.
I think, yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, we
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
And Tyler, some of that will actually be in June and July, it just won't be much. Don't they have some responsibilities during summer school, and then they would have some responsibilities?
so the SROs have a week of training they go to,
Yes.
and then there's also a week that the staff is in session as well.
So that helps in issue. I was concerned about, they will be working every month, at least a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
So I guess we're still wondering why this is on the agenda. So what's the difference?
I think my understanding of why he put it on is I think Tyler was looking at addressing this issue specifically, and Helm and Amanda were talking about it, but to some degree, in order to accomplish that, whatever you all decide, if they're not going to work day for day, or if you're going to handle vacation and sick time differently, you're going to have to amend some of our existing policies regarding vacation and sick time.
So, I mean, one thing that, like today, I think, of course, sick time, I think, needs to be calculated the same as what it is for any employee that we have today. But vacation time, I think is accumulated and they get up to 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know, depending on years of service, I don't think we can do that if they're off for 2 months.
That's what I was gonna say. I mean, in other words, they don't work at all when school's out then, right?
That's right.
Well, they got a 2 months vacation. That's what I was thinking about.
But what, have to for election.
Well, they won't get paid any more than the rest of the executives, will
I
they?
think you ought to treat them as if they're a full-time employee. I think they should be treated on the same thing. I mean, I understand they get 2 months off, but they're not getting paid for 2 months. So what do you want to do if you want to go on vacation in May, or if you want to go on vacation in April?
Well, this job, it's a different job. So in May, we need to make sure we have an officer in the school.
So what is responsibility to find somebody to cover vacation time? I mean,
I think
I'm not going to deny.
I think the people that he's hiring are under the understanding that they'll be working during school.
Yeah, we emphasize that it's important that they're there every day when school's in session and kind of schedule as much things as possible when school's not in session.
When
They get enough vacation.
when teachers aren't there in 2 weeks in spring, they're not there in 2 weeks in the fall.
Right.
They can do it that time too.
That's what it looks
Right,
to me like.
right, and that's kind of,
Christmas, you got spring break, fall break.
yeah, there's,
If you can't take a vacation then, you don't need one.
So we're talking about just
And I agree with
vacation.
that, but they still have to get the time to get paid. If not, they're not getting paid because they're not at work. Okay? If they're off 2 weeks for fall break and they have no vacation time, they don't get paid.
Wait a minute, though. For fall break, spring break, do they not get paid for that?
I don't know.
No, they're hourly employees. They're not salary employees, they're hourly employees. So if
yeah,
they're
the
not at work,
school's out,
2 weeks,
they're out. If it's a
fall
snow
break,
day,
2
they're,
weeks.
I see
Spring
what
breaks
you're
are not getting paid, and if they can't accumulate any vacation time, they're already getting 2 months not paid.
And then,
Okay.
well, really, it's 3 months.
Yeah, but
because there's 2 weeks and 2 weeks.
You're right. You're right, Barry, that about 3 months in the year, they're not going to be
Well,
working.
there's 2 weeks at Christmas, 2 weeks in, well, no, there's,
Yeah.
it's more than that.
Tyler, weren't you
And
weren't
all,
talking about no vacation, you're just talking about less than what it accrues at under our policy. Is that right?
Never thought about that.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
thought, I was figuring it.
I think that's what he wasn't saying none at all. He was
I
saying
don't mind
Fall
that,
break,
I don't mind the position saying.
well, it's figured on
because at
195 days, with school's only in session 175
regular, like
maybe,
it gets vacation.
185 or
Use it,
something.
they can get a
And
check
then,
paid for it at the end of the year.
we allotted 10 extra days for training and little things like that.
The hourly rate on the SRO
Extending after,
is compensated
for summer
for
school,
to make up
summer
the time
art.
they're not there. So they're making, a good deal of money while they're working to make up for when they're not working. That's why the rate is higher, because they're working 195 days a year.
No vacation time for SRO?
Well, I mean, what we talked about.
we had looked
last
at
was
5 days, just saying
days.
you've got 5 days that you can use and you accumulate sick time as a normal employee, but that may create a policy change issue.
We do need to make that, but it won't be difficult. That's why I have this out here right now, is basically, I think we could have a rough first reading of an ordinance to amend the benefits section to basically set out a specific exemption for the vacation time section, specifically only rating to SROs, not whatever number you all decide on, we can put that in, and I presume it's not going to be one that grows with years of service but remains the same.
So the days in session for school is around 176 days.
Right.
So staff comes in and they're there.
They
all
start
staff are
August
there.
2nd.
Well, they're all there for, just say, another 10 days or 10 or 15. So that's why, and then they've got their training for a week.
Right.
To do that, and that'll be in the summer or whenever it is.
Well, the thing with that is, we're at the mercy. It could be spring, unfortunately, honestly, it'll probably be during schools in session.
Find somebody to fill it.
So we'll just, again, the reason for the 7th one will kind of help with that as we grow into that role, but we'll just, we'll get them in school as soon as they can, and,
Well, I read something the other day about a new, something or another about if you have an ATC that you're supposed to have one there too.
oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that just.
Well, I think that's just, I think we,
Yeah.
maybe ahead of that game, but I mean,
Ahead of the game, yes,
yeah, and
but-
that's what I want us to be, is I think it's, you just have such a mixture out there, it's just as important.
So I think with the 195 days, I think it allowed them to have like 5 days that they could float the year, and if they want to take 5 days off during school time, you know, you just have to find somebody to spill the school.
Yeah, and that's something we'll work with them on and try to make sure that that's
So that's in addition
not
to
gonna happen.
all the other times they get off. And, you know, those are 5 floating days that they still get paid for. They put down they get paid for, but they don't have to.
Right.
If an SRO missed, could you slide a road deputy in just for that day, worst case scenario if you had to?
Yeah, I mean, what we're doing now is they try to go through and do school zones and then maybe drop in periodically or just be in that area for X amount of time that we set. Doesn't always work because of calls, but we do, that's in place now. So, I mean, yeah, we'll, you know, and if one's out in Auburn, you know, we'll try to make sure either Eric or the other SROs goes by that day as well. And we're going to coordinate with the Auburn's police chief and the Darville's police chief, and you know, hey, we may not be here today, but letting you know so that they can, you know, they're going to be doing check-ins in those areas too, so that'll help. So if I need to take the Auburn guy out and put him in a Darville because we're short in a Darville that day, or the chief's not there that day, we'll kind of coordinate that. But you know, there's always moving parts. We're trying to make sure that there's either a brief check-in or someone will be there every day until we get fully filled.
So
And
does
then
an SRO get paid for a holiday that they're not working? Fourth of July, they get paid for Fourth of July.
Said something about what, election day and something.
Half of election day.
They would be, school would be technically in session, like Fourth of July, you know.
Christmas Day they get paid, 4th of July they get paid, New Year's Day they get paid.
I was just asking, like Fourth of July, they wouldn't be working, they would be off.
Right.
Not 2 months.
Right. They're still getting, so you know the $350 allowance check, if we have the, you know, which we plan on hiring retired state troopers. So they still get that $350. They're going to still get that check every month, regardless if they're working or not. So they would just, I guess, add those hours to their check, and they would get paid for them.
So what is your vacation time suggestion?
Vacation time is so that they work 195 days a year, and 5 of those days they can still get paid for them, but take them off. Because 195 days, you know, there are some days in there with some cushion as far as when school's in session.
So they just get 5 vacation days a year, and they don't accrue?
No, they do not accrue. So 5, if they don't use those 5 float days, then
Start back over and on.
Can't sell it,
can't sell it.
get paid out.
That's your suggestion?
Oh, y'all talk about this a little bit.
well, and I figured that 5 days they can use during fall break or spring break when school's not in session and they're not getting paid, or they can use it at the end of the.
Well, no, oh, you're just saying.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. They can say during fall break, I won't get.
Right, I'll take my 5 days that week.
No reason if anybody loses any vacation days, you just take it.
Somewhere.
I mean, out in spring break.
Right.
Basically just giving them 5 days they can take off in the session. That's just what it boils down to. You still get paid.
I mean, really do it. I mean, I only had to take them when school was out. Probably can't do it.
Then you wouldn't need
Well, those days are really for when school's in session.
it. That's what I'm saying.
Because, I mean, you're off during fall break, spring break, and you're getting the extra compensation to make up for the time you're not working. That's what these jobs pay more because of that. So you're making a higher hourly wage
For the lack of days.
for the lack of days. And for recruiting.
Right.
So,
Recruitment.
so much
Just
a month.
4 hours a month when you first start, and then after, is it a year? It goes to 8, or how long is it?
I guess, was this be locked in like a part-time position or? just-
No, they would still get that sick time benefit.
No, but they're wanting to do it.
Joe's
I could
off.
get 40.
Writing up all those. Oh, he's writing up what we were going to maybe change in the personnel policy to exclude and make SROs a little different. We're going to have to, because I mean, it's just a different situation. It's just different. Recruitment wise, we're hiring people that don't want to work the road.
Right.
So they're not going to work in the summers.
Right.
So that's already a benefit to them.
Right,
Plus, they're
right.
getting that higher hourly wage, making the same, if not more, salary in a year than what if they were working 12 months.
Right.
So, it's a.
I think the 5 days is very fair. It's very another perk in the recruitment part of the package, and like I said, we're going to work with them on not taking days off during school, other than if it's for training and stuff like that. But that 5 days kind of gives them something that just in between those 195 days.
But I mean, if we decide to do some kind of vacation time or something like that, anything beyond 195 days, I don't think the school district's going to cover.
No, I agree. I think it's just what days they are on the clock is they would
Well,
accumulate.
I think they've agreed to 195 days, which is
They
what
have,
they
yes,
actually need.
yeah.
So,
What I'm, I guess, hearing would be to amend section Roman numeral 6, the benefits section B, adding a section 14 that would essentially set out an exception to the benefits plan for school resource officers. And I'm going to have to ask Tyler and or Steve to get me that specific class that's just going to be the seasonal, because don't we have some that aren't going to be in this class? Like, don't you have some that are going to work around the clock?
No, we, I don't know if that's an option. Would that be an option? Because one has mentioned he didn't mind.
I thought you wanted to work.
Working
we had
all
two
year.
separate classifications already. I thought you added a new one. So like Eric has been working around the clock.
Yeah.
Is he going to switch to this?
Yes.
Okay.
Sweeney had mentioned it, but I think he's okay with it being off, but he did ask if that was an option.
if he can work.
If he could just continue to work the 12
He would
months.
be a deputy during all those other
So,
stuff.
but
But that's
he would go back to the.
he would go
deputy.
back to the regular
So we would
pay
have to-
scale.
We would have to,
Yeah.
at that time, approve that.
That'd be too
Well, maybe you can hire him as a part-time employee under that pay scale, what he's doing, I mean, it wouldn't be
Yeah,
that bad.
okay.
And then
So if you're SRO getting deputy pay instead of SRO?
If he's working the summer, if he wants to work the summer on the road for the sheriff's office,
He would go back to
he
deputy
would go back
pay.
to deputy pay.
But while he was at school?
He would do SRO pay, which may be too complicated, but
Yeah,
yes.
it may be too complicated to do all that.
Since the school resource officer is a unique position in Logan County government, only working when school is in session, they shall not accrue vacation time in accordance with this section. Instead, the school resource officer will receive 5 days vacation annually, and this amount will remain the same while the,
I called it by mistake.
Did I write that for you? Didn't try to read my writing.
while remain the same while in the school resource officer job classification. These 5 days will accrue annually and must be used by the end of the fiscal year, or else they will be forfeited. Does that work?
Yeah. Make a motion to have first reading of what Joe just said. To amend the personnel policy as presented.
Second.
Okay, read that again, Joe. That's my ears.
It's basically everything they said, so
Okay.
I'm going to share up one section of it. So
Okay.
basically, just amending it to set that out.
Okay. Okay, then, we had a motion, right? Tyler, and we have a second. Who seconded? Barry. Okay, any questions? I know this question came up when I was discussing it, and then I think we had a couple more ideas that came in, so that's the reason we're discussing this, and
That way it's something new
has.
to us, so we don't hurt to discuss it.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Thank y'all.
Okay, next item of business, it's just, y'all ain't got nothing in your folders, but discuss the CDBG CV Utility Assistance Grant. Brad has checked with several,
No, I got it.
providers in the area as far as electricity, water, and I've got to call them back about the water. But we didn't have but one agency that agreed to participate in this CDBG CV grant, and that was Atmos Energy. So we can either move forward with it or we can stop it. You know what I'm talking about, stop the grant. But you know, it was cut from 200,000 to 50,000, and in this situation, it'll probably go to 10.
Well, $10,000 that somebody wants to apply for, I can't say we didn't try to make it available to them. It's not, we couldn't force utility providers to participate, but one did, so I think we ought to do it.
Okay.
Can we say who the utility provider is?
Atmos Energy.
Oh.
Was the only one who agreed to participate. So,
Yeah, it's $10,000 somebody needs.
yeah.
Okay, well, I'll call Brad and let them know. And they were checking with the water districts, but the thing, biggest thing about it, they got to allow them to get behind before they can participate. And this is just not Logan County, it's in a lot of the counties, you know. Okay. Post agenda.
Judge, I did have one thing too while Steve's making his way up. Travis and some of the search and rescue guys have been working on getting a grant or approval to get a drone for purposes of search and rescue. And if you're a part of government, it's much cheaper, and they probably don't qualify, but since our search and rescue is so closely tied with emergency management, I think they're wanting to go in with the blessing of emergency management for the county and emergency management to request that. And so basically what I would like would be your all's authorization and approval to write a letter in support saying that emergency management is a part of this. It kind of goes without saying that that's not really necessary, but it will help with federal government red tape, so I'm going to attach those minutes to show that our request is made as a part of county government.
Absolutely. I'll make a motion to allow, I guess, you to write a letter of support from the fiscal court stating that the emergency service is part of the grant to receive the drone.
Yes.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Now, is there any questions? Okay, if not, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
All right, I have two personnel action requests I'd like to submit for SRO. The first one is Lee McKinney. He's a retired captain from Western Kentucky University there with over 20 years of experience. So I'd like to submit that for the 15-year credit for the SRO. His wife used to be a teacher in Auburn, so he's very familiar with Auburn and Chandler's area and Logan County. I think they do reside in Bowling Green now, but she had worked in the Auburn school system for several years, I believe. We've got one more to interview. We're reaching out to another lead today that we just got. With these two requests here, that'll have 4, potentially 5 SROs starting the school system.
Do you have a personal action request to change theirs to the?
Oh, do I need to do that? Okay. I don't, but I will do that the next court meeting, I guess. I didn't think about that. You're right.
Change his to the.
Okay.
To
To the new scale. Okay.
If that's where you're going to put him in a spot.
Well, the sergeant spot, we've not decided yet. What we're doing on that is we wanted to build to 5 or 6 and then look at doing that. So,
Well, either way, you got to put them on.
but I've got to change them to the new system. So, okay, I will do that next court meeting. But yeah, on the sergeant slot, we were wanting to fulfill slots first and then look at that. But I mean, we're game planning that anyway. We've had a couple that were interested, but ended up going to different school systems, and it was just more convenience. It wasn't a salary or the package thing. It was just that it was closer home stuff. So, I'm okay with that.
Make a motion to approve personal action request for Lee McKinney, hire date effective July 31st, 2022, on the salary schedule of LC-RO-1 with 15 years credit experience.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and second on the personnel request. Any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
And I have a second personnel action request on Barry Deal. He's retired police chief from Russellville Police Department, so he is local and his hometown, so we're excited to have Barry. He's very interested in working, so.
Make a motion to approve personal action requests for Barry Deal, going to salary schedule LC-RO-1 with 15 years credit experience.
Second.
Okay, and either one of these, are they talking insurance in any way, or?
No, they're not, they won't need insurance.
Okay.
They're both retired police officers.
So, because they extend that, and no longer has to be a
Right.
trooper.
Right.
I think he'd probably be in hazardous duty retirement.
Yeah, he's hazardous duty retirement. Actually, both of them were.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Now, is there any questions? Okay,
That's
let's have roll call.
effective hire date.
July
31st,
yes.
2022. I didn't say that in my motion. I'll amend my motion there.
You starting July 31st?
Both of them.
Okay. And they got to go to training for a week, right?
Well, these two will have to actually do 2 weeks of update certification because they've been out. Once you get out of law enforcement, you've got to do an update. So we've got to work on their update classes, and they'll be required to take the SRO-1 class training within a year time frame. So when you hire somebody that's retired, they have to do an 80-hour class that's their clef, that gets their clef started and re-going, and then they'll be required to take the SRO level 1 training as well. So, but it's spread out over a year, so.
Okay, is there any other questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yeah.
All right, again, I appreciate it very much, and we're we've got the ball rolling, and I think it's going to catch some speed as we go. So we're very excited.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you. Did you have anything close to the only thing I had is the mosquito deal. So me and Tyler at some point this week's gonna go get our mosquito spraying machine. And what truck are we gonna use to put it in?
Well, I've come up with a truck.
Okay.
Can we use one at the recycling center or is not?
There's a truck at the recycling center that never moves. Is
Yeah.
that a possibility?
That'd be a possibility.
Well, I'd like to, it would be, the way they talk, would be a lot easier if we could, I mean, I could put it in the back of my truck and bring it home, but if we could put it in the truck that's going in, it might be a saving step or two.
Are we insured to drive?
Yeah, we're employed by the county.
Okay, and I know y'all talked to one or two people, but somebody needs to turn an application or two in.
Did we get any applications? Have they started? Does Duke fill out an application?
He's filling out, he's gonna drop it off today.
Okay.
So we'll have to, I mean, he can go ahead and hire him with 0 years experience, he's only got 3 years spraying.
Yeah.
So I mean, we could hire him with 0 years experience and then we could credit it, if he's spraying for next quarter. He could credit it to 3 years.
We can't hire him right now.
No, the judge can hire somebody without years of experience. We can, all we're good for is give them credit, years of experience credit, if I'm not understanding correctly.
That thing needs to be on a, really, it is on a crate.
It's a skid unit like a,
But we,
Forklift, you
they
can
could
get
be
it out.
set in and out
Yeah.
of
Pretty
a
easy.
truck. Yeah, I think so, easy, pretty easy. The only thing, the water going up in the cab's the hardest part.
you're just gonna have to go through this window or
If
something.
it's got a sliding window, you could do it.
Okay.
Because there's a control box about that big around, cable about like that.
It's not gonna go close range, so maybe go through a window, I guess. I bet that the truck at the,
You can buy those grommets, drill a hole in the back.
If you're gonna leave it in one permanent truck.
Right. You always want to use that truck to spray.
a brand new truck the other day.
You got a quick couple where you could still unsnap it and set it
I mean,
up.
I'm thinking maybe that truck recycling center probably got a sliding glass. Like the one that's here, this part of the line, no, it's just a sliding glass in the back. Maybe easier if it was the back sliding glass. We can figure it all out.
Well, like you said, if you put the garment in there, there's implanter connections, you got several connections in there that twist lock metal and twist lock it out.
Looks good. It's like you're plugging in the back of your truck for a trailer. Kind of the same principle, but twist locks.
I can't get it.
Don't see any reason why not.
I make a motion with it, sir.
Second.
Okay, got a motion second to adjourn. Is there any questions? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Pitt.
Yes.
All right, are y'all gonna be all chemical back with you, or you are, we don't have a certification?
Yeah, see, it's not.
Yeah.
Don't have to be stored in the store. They don't have to be stored in the store.